All right, let's talk about something that might be hiding right in your morning routine. I mean, what if that daily cup of coffee you love is secretly messing with your cholesterol? It sounds a little crazy, right? Well, let's dive in.
Okay, so picture this. It's a situation a ton of people can relate to. You're trying to do everything right, you know? You're eating healthy, you're getting your exercise in, but those cholesterol numbers, especially that pesky bad LDL cholesterol, they just will not budge. It's so frustrating, right? You feel like you're checking all the boxes. But what if there's this one little thing, this one piece of the puzzle that we've all been overlooking?
Okay, so here's the clue that really cracked this whole thing open for a lot of people. This is from a real story where someone saw their LDL cholesterol drop for the first time in years. And the craziest part? No major diet overhaul, no new supplements, nothing. The only thing that changed was how they made their coffee, just a different brew method.
And that, right there, brings us to the big question we're tackling today. Could your morning coffee be that missing piece in your cholesterol puzzle? You know, the one that explains why those numbers have been so stubborn? Let's find out. All right, to solve this mystery, we've got to play detective and look right inside the coffee bean itself, because it turns out there are these specific compounds in there that are directly responsible. So let's go ahead and unmask these hidden culprits.
Okay, so here they are. Meet the diterpenes. Their names are cafestol and kawel. Now, these are just natural oily compounds found in all coffee beans. You won't find them in tea, you won't find them in your energy drinks. They are unique to coffee. And while they're not all bad, they do have some benefits. One of them, cafestol, is really the main villain in our story today when it comes to cholesterol.
And believe me, that is not an exaggeration. I mean, listen to this. Scientific studies have called cafestol the most potent cholesterol-elevating compound known in the human diet. Wow, that's a really big statement. It totally raises the stakes here, doesn't it?
But how potent are we talking? Well, this is where it gets really mind-blowing. To put it in perspective, milligram for milligram, cafestol raises your bad LDL cholesterol more than bacon fat or butter does. Let that sink in. More than bacon fat. It's just surprisingly powerful. So, if these oils are in all coffee, you might be thinking, oh no, do I have to quit? And the answer is absolutely not. And that's the great news. See, the crucial thing to understand is that the coffee bean itself isn't the problem. It all comes down to how you brew it. The method is everything.
Think of your brewing method like a gatekeeper. Some methods, they just throw the gates wide open and let all those oily compounds flow right into your mug. But other methods, they're like the world's best security guards, trapping those compounds before they even have a chance to get into your drink.
And look, this isn't just some wacky theory. There was this huge study in Norway. We're talking over 21,000 people, and they found a crystal clear link. The folks who drank unfiltered coffee, like the traditionally boiled kind, had way higher cholesterol than the people who drank filtered coffee. The data is pretty solid on this one.
Okay, so now for the practical part. Let's break down the most common ways we all make coffee. We're going to sort them into the good, the bad, and the oily, so you can see exactly where your daily brew falls and what it might be doing to your cholesterol.
All right, first up, let's talk about the highest risk category, unfiltered coffee. The name says it all, right? The key thing here is that these methods do not use a paper filter. And without that paper filter, there's just nothing there to stop those diterpene oils.
So what are we talking about here? Which kinds of coffee fall into this camp? Well, the list includes some really popular ones. We've got the French press, Sir Cafetiere, you've got that super strong Turkish or Greek coffee, traditional Scandinavian boiled coffee, and even coffee from an old school percolator.
And this chart right here, it shows you exactly why we're so concerned about these methods. Just look at these numbers. A French press has about 3.5 milligrams per cup. But then you look at Scandinavian boiled coffee, and it skyrockets to over 7 milligrams. These are really significant amounts we're talking about.
Okay, next up, we have espresso. And espresso is kind of interesting because it's in this weird middle ground. See, it uses a fine metal filter, not a paper one, which means some of those oils still make it through into the shot. So a single shot of espresso has about 1 milligram of cafestol. On its own, that's not too terrible. But here's the catch, right? How many people just have one single shot? If you're getting a large latte or a cappuccino from your favorite coffee shop, that can easily have 2 or even 3 shots in it. And suddenly, that number starts to add up really fast.
And now, for the really good news. If you're watching your cholesterol, this is the category you want to be in.
Filtered coffee is by far the safest and most heart-healthy way to get your caffeine fix. So this includes the coffee from that standard drip coffee maker you probably have on your kitchen counter. It also includes those popular pour-over methods like a V60 or a Chemex. And get this, even instant coffee is on the safe list. It has barely any of these oils at all.
So it's the magic ingredient here. What makes these methods so much better? Well, it's the hero of our story, the simple, humble paper filter. It's amazing, really. This little piece of paper is so effective that it traps more than 95% of both cafestol and kahwal, stopping them before they ever get into your mug. It's a total game changer.
Okay, but what about decaf? This is a question I hear all the time. Does taking out the caffeine also take out the cholesterol problem? It's a great question, so let's clear that up right now.
And the short answer is no, it doesn't. See, the process they use to decaffeinate coffee beans doesn't touch those oily diterpenes, so if you make a French press with decaf beans, it's still unfiltered and it can still raise your cholesterol. So one more time for the people in the back, it's all about the brewing method, not the caffeine content. All right, so let's do a super quick recap of everything we've just covered. On one end of the spectrum, you've got unfiltered coffee like a French press. It's high-end cafestol, and it can really raise your LDL. Then, in the middle, you have espresso. It's a moderate risk, especially if you're drinking several lattes a day. And then you have our clear winner, filtered coffee made with a drip machine or a pour-over. It has a super low cafestol level and pretty much a minimal to zero effect on your LDL.
And you know, this brings us to what is truly the best part of this entire mystery. The solution isn't about giving up something you love. It's not about sacrifice. It's just about making a simple, easy switch that could have a really positive impact on your health.
So what's the big takeaway here? What should you do now? First, just take a second to think about how you make your coffee every single day. If you're using a French press or a percolator or another unfiltered method, maybe just consider switching to a brew that uses a good old-fashioned paper filter. You know, like a simple drip machine or a pour-over setup. And that's it. Seriously, it's such a small change, but it lets you keep enjoying the coffee you love just without that hidden cholesterol risk. It's a really simple fix to a surprisingly common problem.